Over the years, Randy Marsh has slowly become the center of South Park. He's evolved from a parody of drunk dads.
What do you want to do, huh? What do you want to do?
Then became a stand-in for Americans' obsession with fads and consumerism.
We have mocked our economy, and now the economy has cast its vengeance upon us all.
But in recent seasons, he's become a parody of the American corporation, ruthlessly pursuing his own leisure and profits, all while sacrificing his precious Tegrity.
Tegrity weed is about community.
In many ways, all of us, you, me, your mom, all of us are Randy Marsh. Part 1, America's Stepdad. If Tom Hanks is America's dad, then Randy Marsh is America's stepdad. He's the father figure who either tries too hard or not at all, and who we're always a little ashamed of.
Oh, shit!
By the way, I'm talking about your stepdad, not mine. Mike is great. Randy started off as a kind of parody of self-absorbed fathers, like his bluntness after his separation from Sharon.
You know that nothing is more important to me than you, right, Stan?
I guess, but...
In earlier South Park episodes, the kids' innocence and ignorance was often the basis of the stories.
So why do we color eggs?
An innocent question like this one opens the door for Randy to indoctrinate Stan into the Order of the Rabbit in a face-off with the Vatican.
And protect the secret of the Easter Bunny.
These earlier episodes used adults to show that the grown-up world is weird and beyond the simple logic of a child. But just as often, this dynamic is switched. The kids are more mature and the parents are irresponsible dimwits.
Oh, hey, Stan, could you grab me a beer?
Randy just doesn't take an active interest in his kids' lives.
I'm writing a song, Dad.
Nobody cares about that! Come on, I've got big news!
He often uses Stan's hobbies as a springboard into his own obsessions.
That's my best friend, Dad. Stop shaming him because you want to fit in.
In The Losing Edge, Stan and friends are trapped in a never-ending Little League season. They hate playing baseball, but because they keep winning, they're forced to keep playing in tournament after tournament.
I don't suppose you guys want to win this game. Win? Why the hell would we want to win?
But of course, Randy is oblivious to this because Stan's Little League games have opened up a new hobby for him, the trash-talking dad.
Come on, let's go! I'm right here!
At first, Randy gets drunk because it's fun, but soon he sees drunk fighting as an obligation to himself and to the sport.
I worked hard, believed in myself, and now I'm gonna be fighting in the state championship game.
As always in South Park, there's a real-life basis for this. YouTube is full of hilarious and cringy drunk dad Little League fights. But this storyline actually shows Randy's struggle for validation. Like most of us, he's not an exceptional person, so he struggles to stand out in extraordinary ways. Like many blue-collar workers, he feels overlooked, underappreciated, and is trying to find a way to stand out.
Oh my god.
They took my job!
In TMI, he lobbies to lower the National Penis Size Index so he can have above-average junk.
You don't just go around changing math!
Now this is something called the Lake Wobegon effect. If everyone is above average, then the standard for average is raised and everybody becomes average again. But Randy doesn't care about the actual size of his penis. He just wants people to think that he's got a big wiener. He's more concerned with the appearance of reality rather than actually improving himself or enjoying the benefits of his life. This kind of self-obsession with appearance is parodying our own love of social media, where we're all after those precious, precious likes, which reminds me, like this video and leave a comment. His desire for acceptance is never more apparent than in More Crap, which focuses on his competition with Bono to create the biggest crap in the world. This episode reverses the father-son dynamic and shows that Stan has become the mature one in the family.
Look, you gotta understand, sir. My dad's never won an award for anything. Ever. He doesn't have one single trophy.
Just like in our own lives, we see what celebrities have and we think,
I want to go to there.
But this is a key part of Randy's evolution. He stopped being America's stepdad and became America itself. Part 2, We Are Randy. Over the years, the show has gradually focused less on Cartman and the other boys and more on Randy. Now this is similar to The Simpsons.
Simpsons did it! Simpsons did it!
In that show's early years, stories were focused more on Bart's antics.
Yeah, eat my shorts, but man.
But writer Conan O'Brien began to shift the show's focus onto Homer. He became a stand-in for every blue-collar dad who doesn't think too hard about the world around him.
Woohoo! Beer, 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 bad, bad, bad!
But Randy actually started off like Homer, a beer-guzzling, inattentive goof. But he evolved to embody America's obsessive nature, as we swoon over everything from cooking shows,
I wasn't watching food channels!
World of Warcraft,
In the outside world, I am a simple geologist. But in here, I am Falcorn, defender of the Alliance.
or Barack Obama.
He's so perfect and awesome!
Trey Parker and Matt Stone have even admitted that as they grow older, they relate more to Randy than the kids. For instance, Randy is an impulsive consumer who is obsessed with status. In Something Walmart This Way Comes, Randy becomes an enthusiastic consumer, purchasing products not because he wants them, but because he feels that he must.
This bargain is too great for me! I'm gonna have to buy these! Here, take the keys and go on!
Consumers are often made to feel like we must buy something simply because it's cheap, without actually questioning whether or not we need the thing in question. Randy is the human embodiment of FOMO, the fear of missing out. This is a marketing technique used to make consumers feel anxious about their possessions, their habits, and their lives. If someone else has a margarita mixer, then you have to run out and get a better margarita mixer for yourself.
And the idiots couldn't see that by doing all this frivolous spending, they were mocking the economy.
FOMO is rooted in social anxiety, and Randy is obsessed with his social status. Most of his bad behavior is motivated by his simple need to belong. It's like Randy is constantly having a midlife crisis. He's terrified of getting older, so to stay young, he latches onto every new fad, or he tries to.
God damn it, Dad, get off our Xbox!
Hang on, I almost caught the dragon!
He's a fanatic Obama supporter, but his support has nothing to do with Obama's policies. He just wants to be part of a popular movement. I mean, his vote was definitely up for grabs.
I knew I should have voted for McCain!
He just doesn't care about positive social change, only the appearance of positive social change. Just like the many consumer fads that he follows, he sees political causes as a means to validate his own self-worth. This is most apparent in the brilliant Season 19 arc about Whole Foods, gentrification, and PC culture. Later, Randy will spearhead the gentrification of South Park under the guise of improving the town. But really, he just wants a Whole Foods, not for the groceries, but for the status.
Our town has only had a Whole Foods for 3 weeks and we already have our first gay kids. So cool.
But wait, way back in Season 5, Randy didn't even want his son to even sound gay.
You do not say big silly goose! You call him an asshole like a normal kid!
So why does his attitude change? Because public opinion on gay rights and gay marriage has shifted, and he wants to be viewed as a progressive, open-minded, PC individual. Randy didn't have many strong convictions until he found himself some Tegrity.
Bless us, Lord, in our little cannabis farm, and may we always keep our Tegrity.
Part 3, Welcome to Randyland. In Season 22, Randy became frustrated with all the perils of small-town life, like multiple school shootings, so he moved his family onto a marijuana farm. However, it's not long before a mega corporation, Big Vape, tries to buy his land. As a small business owner, he takes the moral high ground, claiming that a family farmer like himself has Tegrity.
Tegrity Farms. Made with a little Colorado Tegrity.
This storyline started off as a spoof of how stoners claim the moral high ground about smoking marijuana, when smoking pot is actually about feeling good and making money, and that's the very essence of consumerism. So, while Randy prides himself on being better than the system, he's actually a part of it. In this way, Tegrity Farms represents the South Park TV show. The show often takes the moral high ground.
You see, I learned something today.
It's critical of consumerism,
I can have all the bargains to myself.
but is owned by a corporation that gets horny over profits. Even though Randy's moral high ground is rooted in being a small business, soon he becomes horny for profits as well. He uses scooters to grow his business, and even reverts to industrial sabotage, burning his friends' marijuana gardens to reduce the competition. Slowly, he begins to place profits over Tegrity. After a visit from Big Goo,
I'm a goo man.
he begins to make plant-based food. Originally, Randy gained the high ground by claiming that he offered an all-natural experience for consuming marijuana, but plant goo is anything but natural. Goo Man is a parody of Daniel Plainview from There Will Be Blood.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I say I'm an oil man, you will agree.
In that film, Plainview strips a small town of its oil and corrupts a local pastor, Eli Sunday. In the same way, the Goo Man corrupts Randy and sends him on a cow-killing rampage. Over the seasons, Randy's hypocrisy deepens. Just as some corporations portray a folksy, family-friendly image to the public, Randy pretends Tegrity Farms is all about family, but he's actually making them miserable.
Isn't this great, Stan? Living off the land?
No, it sucks.
He also goes from standing up to Amazon
You see, Tegrity's something that can't be understood by big corporations.
to using them to sell his merch.
Stan, they're available on Amazon starting Friday, so you could really help promote the family business while I'm gone.
But Randy's true loss of Tegrity came in one of the all-time best South Park episodes, Banned in China. Randy, along with mega corporations like the NBA and Disney, is trying to expand his market into China. To do this, he's willing to overlook the many human rights violations the Chinese government commits, just like we do when we use our precious iPhones made in factories under slavery-like conditions. Randy opens up the Chinese market and sacrifices the remainder of his Tegrity when he strangles Winnie the Pooh. So remember, if you're watching this video on a smartphone, you are murdering Pooh Bear.
Oh, bother.
Eventually, Randy does have to suffer the consequences for his ruthless pursuit of money. He's thrown in jail for cow killing and arson. And just when it seems like he's going to prison, all of his crimes are blamed on Mexican Joker, a fictional supervillain based on a fictional supervillain who is the perfect scapegoat. scapegoat. The message is clear. We don't blame corporations for the evil things they do. We blame Mexican Joker. It can't be our fault. We're great. We have Tegrity. The Tegrity stories don't just use Randy as a stand-in for evil, corrupt corporations. Randy is a stand-in for us and how we enable corporations to commit evil actions simply by not giving a shit.
And now, everybody, if you don't mind, I've got a farm to tend to.
Well guys, let me know what you thought of this video and let me know what South Park character you'd like for me to break down next. And if you're new here, please subscribe. For Screen Crush, I'm Ryan Airy.